Hey, what's going on guys? It's Shaw from HiTech. So I went out and picked up Samsung's new Galaxy S9 Plus, and I'm just going to say this right out of the gate. Putting ecosystems aside and considering everything that you get, the Galaxy S9 Plus is the best phone out right now. Now I'm not saying it's the best at everything, but the thing is, this phone makes very few compromises, or none at all depending on how you look at it, and gives you pretty much every option and feature that you could ask for in a smartphone. If you've had one or you're familiar with Samsung phones, then you already know that they make their phones with very high quality, and the S9 is no exception. It has an aluminum build with Gorilla Glass 5 on the front and back. It looks practically identical to the Galaxy S8, but with three notable changes. First, Samsung made the top and bottom bezels on the front slightly thinner. Second, on the back, the camera orientation is now vertical. And finally, Samsung listened to everyone's complaints and moved the fingerprint reader below the camera so it's more towards the center of the phone. The setup for the fingerprint reader is probably one of the fastest I've seen. You literally just swipe down on it one time and you're done. It's also really fast and responsive. But in addition to this, you can also unlock the phone with facial recognition, the iris scanner, or what Samsung is calling intelligence scan, which is a combination of facial recognition and iris scanning. On the top of the phone is the SIM card and micro SD card slot. With the micro SD card slot, you can expand the internal storage of the phone up to 400 gigabytes. There's a pair of stereo speakers instead of a single speaker like in previous Galaxy phones, a USB-C port with fast charging, and yes, the fast charger comes with the phone. And unlike most phones these days, Samsung is still including the headphone jack. The display is stunning and appears to be Samsung's best OLED display yet. It's a 6.2-inch display with a max resolution of 2960 by 1440. DisplayMate.com has given this display its highest rating ever, beating out the iPhone X's display, which was custom designed by Apple and manufactured by Samsung. Personally, I found it to be extremely sharp, it gets very bright, and colors are vivid. Given that this is a Samsung phone, the colors actually might be too vivid depending on your taste, but thankfully you can change the color saturation in the display settings. I'm still not a big fan of the curved sides, but that's just me, and it's not a deal breaker at all. There's been a lot of hype around the cameras in the S9 Plus, specifically the main rear camera that has a variable aperture that will change from 1.5 to 2.4 depending on your lighting conditions. Now, I don't want to downplay this because it is a notable advancement in smartphone tech. This is the first phone to have a variable aperture lens, but personally I don't take a lot of really low light photos, so most of the time an aperture of 2.4 lets in plenty of light, and that's what the camera defaults to. So it's a great feature, but don't expect it to be this game-changing thing unless you're someone who takes a lot of low light photos. Putting that aside, just like other top flagship phones, the Galaxy S9 Plus's camera takes really good pictures. Do I think it's the best camera? No. I still like the Pixel 2 XL's camera the most, and I still prefer the color processing of the iPhone X, but I'm certainly not disappointed with the photos coming out of the S9 Plus. At this point, all the top phones take amazing pictures. You get optical image stabilization in both lenses, you can record 4K video up to 60 frames per second, 1080p video up to 240 frames per second, and you get that new super slow-mo at 960 frames per second at a 720p resolution. Inside, the S9 Plus is powered by the Snapdragon 845, 6GB of RAM, 64GB of internal storage with a 3500 mAh battery. It also supports wireless charging and is IP68 water and dust resistant. And as far as performance goes, I have zero complaints so far. Everything is smooth and fast. I haven't had any hiccups or lag at all. To me, it's actually just as smooth as stock Android on my Pixel 2 XL. Whether or not it stays that way remains to be seen. I may make an update video to let you know how things are in a couple of months. Samsung's TouchWiz skin is still there and you're either gonna love it or hate it. I personally don't mind it that much, though I'd still prefer stock Android. So yeah, like I said, this phone makes very few compromises. There's very few things that a smartphone could have that the S9 Plus doesn't. I wouldn't go so far as to say that it's the absolute best at everything, but I do feel that it's the most complete package. and that's why it's my favorite smartphone right now. Alright guys, that's gonna wrap up this review. Let me know down in the comments what you think about the Galaxy S9 Plus, and if you like this video, go ahead and give it a like, and subscribe and hit the bell so you don't miss any of my new videos. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys later.